One second, folks. Please stand by. There we go. How you folks doing this morning? I'm Cody with IronVerse Comics. And we're chatting for a few. It's going to be a quick stream. I got somewhere to be shortly, but I don't know. I'm not going to get a chance to stream too much over the next few days. Work and all. It's been kicking my ass physically. Coming home in a bit of pain, so it's a little bit harder to do that work. This work, that work is yeah, it is what it is at the moment. But um, I don't know. I wanted to discuss a few things. I just got up, took a shower, got that kind of stuff done, so I'm not fully prepared to discuss all of them. But I think we'll muddle through. We usually do. All right, so um, let's do this. Let's do this. Let's go over here. Let's go over here. Refresh this sucker. That one and ta-da! All right. So this is where it stands as of now. It says 6 days left by about noon my time, so an hour or so, basically right before I leave. It should tick to about 5 days left. Um, so I think this ends Tuesday, if I have my dates correct. Um, Hell of a ride it's been. um, Definitely reminded me of when I started, where except I had when I started, I had the exuberance that can come with naivety. Um, not knowing what's going to happen, not really caring what's happening. I had a more defined safety net under me for a couple different situations when I did that one as well. So this was a hell of a lesson. Quite a few lessons, in fact, in that. I don't know if I want to save some of these lessons till like a campaign post-mortem, which I will do. I've done that for every one of our campaigns. I believe the last one I did was on Kickstarter. So if you folks are curious about that, I'm sure it's on the channel somewhere. But probably called it a debriefing. I think this one will call it post-mortem. Um, so, yeah, this is where we stand as of today. 150 folks. And about 5.5 days left at best. Honestly, it's only about 5 days. Howdy, dollar coins. Welcome. Gonna be a short stream, brother, but I wanted to talk about a few things. So, where do I want to guide this now? I have no idea where this is gonna land. Of course, we pulled off craziness. The last successful campaign we pulled off, but the last campaign we ran, it could have had the same craziness kind of finish it, and we were close. We were about 2K from goal on that one. And yeah, no. So I'm not. No, hair's not tied back. It's wet. But thanks, dollar coins. No, it's just I'm fresh out of the shower. Just woke up, had some coffee, and showered, all that fun stuff, and then I'm here. Um, welcome, welcome, David. Thanks for stopping by. So, uh, folks who have watched the channel long enough and have interacted with me long enough hopefully know that I'm a hope for the best every time, but expect the worst kind of guy. So at this point, I'm gonna keep pushing to the final days. I have one more trick up my sleeve. I'm gonna reveal when there's 3 days left. It's a secret tier, and it's stupid for me to do, but if there's any interest in it, that would get people to re-up for just a little bit more, push it just a little harder than it's worth doing. So that'll happen at day 3. So that'll be Sunday. Maybe I'll do it Saturday night, especially if I can stream. So we'll do that. That's my last kind of gambit I've got planned for this. Um, but assuming that that doesn't really generate another 5K, 6K almost, um, 6K in fact, then it won't. Even mathematically, it can't. I would need like got 300 people to jump on that tier to make that work. So that's not gonna happen. But again, I just want to kick it into a little bit of gear, and it's a stupid thing that maybe will help awareness a little bit. Um, Dog Coins has a trick too. Well, thank you, brother. I appreciate that. Those are the kind of tricks that could work out the best, or the ones I don't expect at all myself. Great. Um, otherwise, afterwards, I'm going to take a breather. Um, let's define breather, however, because that's another thing. Folks who have followed for a while know that I don't really stop working. It's just not like in me. There's only so much time, and and man, if you waste that time, you ain't getting it back. So, um, there's gonna be 2 pivots. If we don't, at least 2 pivots, but two in mind that I'm gonna talk about now. Um, one is a major one in the foundational structure of IronVerse Comics. Oh God, what does that mean if you're really invested in what we do? Uh, nothing. Everybody in the team's aware of it now. Dollar coins, by the way. Not everybody. Um, the art end, who doesn't really invest that much on the business end anyway, they're not aware of it yet because I haven't had to make that move yet. But you're aware of it, brother, and Scott's aware of it now too. So that's good. It's not gonna just jump on people if I have to make that choice. But that's a big one. I will probably be quiet about that one depending on how it shakes up. Um, so you folks will know. Either it'll be quiet and then I'll just kind of announce gently, and folks will kind of be like, "Oh, okay, okay," nah, nah. Or it will be much less quiet. Let's just say. So either way, you folks will find out about that in the upcoming months if we don't fund. If we fund, the situation gets more complicated for me to make that choice. So we'll see if that choice is still made. Um, Then the other pivot. So this is the big one, and this is the one that kind of was hitting me today, and I wanted to talk about on stream, which was trying again because we have so many other platforms to invest in to get folks to move from this crowdfunding circus model that is entirely draining for myself, doesn't have any kind of consistency to it apparently, and and I have to start from scratch every go. Um, Instead of doing that every time, which is just a Herculean effort, as you can tell, even with a quality product and history of service and delivery and all of these other factors that should have been in our corner that were not, is trying to push again on the subscription model. That's the big one. That's the one that could allow us to be an actually functioning comic business. Crowdfunding it's a circus. It's a trick. Um, I love magic. I love illusion, but at some point, that doesn't work for stable growth of a business. Now, some people are able to integrate the crowdfunding model into what is basically a subscription model, where they just charge you, in this case, quarterly, and then you get your books as soon as they're done because they're already created all of that stuff. And that works, and it's not something we can do, simply because of funding and how the artists work with us. uh, that case is a partnership and an agreement on how it's an entrepreneurial adventure for a full creative team, whereas IronVerse Comics, it's a freelance gig with a couple folks making it an entrepreneurial adventure, and those folks not having the entire set of skills needed to make comics themselves, um, to the quality that we would like, right? Like, so that's the thing, and so that model just doesn't work for us. I wish it could. Theoretically, it could, but that's not feasible based on the artistic teams we work with. It's just not. So, uh, the main way we hang on to the artistic talents we work with is by paying them well. And so, to do that, yeah, crowdfunding is about the only way. I'm not a super well off individual. I've thought of a couple crazy plans I could do to kind of go all in, quite literally, on this. Um, but there's still a lot of sentimentality and a lot of soul searching that needs to be done before I could make that specific leap. Um, it's tough, and that was a lot of yesterday was soul searching on that kind of spectrum. uh, but back to the subscription model, I would love, if we could get these 150 folks, if we could get 75 of them, I mean 15 of them I'll take, to go on over to Patreon, to PayPal, to our own website, to Global Comics, um, any of those platforms that allow monthly donations and put in $1 a month, we could build something with that. Build something really cool. The problem is most folks are already glutted with subscription services. And so, what do we offer that they can't get anywhere else, or that their dollar would go further? And that's a tough one. That's a tough one. I been struggling with that for years, trying to find like what's the silver bullet. I've tried short stories. I've tried the exclusive access to our work. We had a free manga on there, that you got access to as it goes. We've tried a bunch of different things, and the patrons that have stuck not because of the content they got, but because of the project they're supporting. And so I think it's very possible, if I can appeal to that sentiment, we can maybe do business. Because I mean, I'm asking for $1 a month. If we got 50 people to do $5 a month, if we got 50 people to do $10 a month, or we got 100 people to do $5 a month, that would allow us to basically continuously be producing comics to never stop. Does that mean that a release every so often? Oh yeah, it would be every so often, but it doesn't mean we need about 10 times that to release comics bi-monthly. So that would at least allow us to release a comic a year consistently. Like the promise would be there. Um, and so that's the model I would love to chase instead. There is a plan B, but I need to take this breather and figure out what we're doing, and what shakes out if we don't fund. Before I hit the plan B, which we've discussed on the channel before. I want to run this project again on Kickstarter, uh, because Kickstarter is much hotter than Indiegogo right now, and going through the Indiegogo networks. Though it was wonderful to meet these people who I haven't really, who I've been around, acquaintances, right? It was nice to truly make acquaintances with a lot of cool folks, and meet new audiences and spread the sphere of awareness of what we're doing. But this campaign in particular, I noticed that market, they're not interested in the type of story I'm trying to tell. Just straight up. Howdy, Woodrow. Welcome, welcome. Um, and so, every time I'd make the pitch, which was a similar pitch I've made many other times, it's just like previous readers, folks who have been like with us for a while, who are hosting or guests on the channel, they got it. They've been involved with the work. They see what we're doing. Um, New folks, like the only selling point I have for our work is art. It's the art design, and so uh, that's great. But like, I'm not the artist. I can't talk about those kind of things and keep focused on that stuff. So I have to talk about the headier, more esoteric angles of the work, and that just went over so many folks' heads. This campaign, I spoke to a lot of folks, and the large amount of them it was just in one ear out the other at best. And so that's disheartening. But I'm not I'm not a salesman, folks. I've never been. I'm just a guy who honestly wants to make comics and tries to present that as such. And I think we make a damn good comic. Um, Damn good set of comics at this point, which is incredible to me. But the less that I have to rely on the salesmanship and circus angle. Like even the biggest circus that was kicked up this campaign, and I'm a little curious how it was kicked up and why it was kicked up, and the timing of things. But like even that, the best we were able to draw in was about 15 backers from that, which fucking a 15 backers. But that when you need 450 to 500 backers, that's great at the beginning. Towards the end, and you're looking at 150 backers, it's not so successful. It's something. It keeps the ball rolling. It keeps everything moving. All of that, but it's not sustainable for the level of work that we can and need to produce. It's just it doesn't take care of that stuff. So again, I'm gonna try very hard to convince. So this will go through all the channels that I've had built over time. This is one of the first calls right here on IronVerse Comics. Um, but go out on Twitter. It'll go out through every of our crowdfunding campaigns, all of them. Dollar coins, if I may, at some point. I think I should have access, but I might need access to the previous Cactus Coyote campaign we ran. I know it didn't have many people comparatively, but still, I want this to be as loud as we can get. Um, I'm gonna try and get folks to move on over to one of those 4 places you can donate $1 a month. It would make a massive difference. It's more feasible in the long term, not only for ourselves, but I'm not asking for $25 or $30 or $55 to get it overseas, right? To do this. I'm asking, here's $1 a month. We will continue producing this book, and I will do my best to give you a incredible deal when we are done in production. And there's a lot of ways I could do it. I could offer the book straight through our website, and that way I cut off having to worry about Indiegogo's fee, which is, in this case, it would have been about $1,300. uh, so there's all of these things, right? Um, Depending on how it goes with that other big pivot I spoke of earlier, we could offer it in different forms, different timings, and it will be more under my direct sphere, and that would do wonders at this point, I think. So I mean, I'm gonna do my best to pitch that. This is kind of the practice talking about it and getting it out into the ether. I think that model is the model that's sustainable. Again, you could back it at $1 on Patreon. You hate Patreon? I get you. There's no good middleman. I'm going to tell you that. There is no good middleman. But and Patreon has the best feature set for me to communicate with you and share everything we're doing. But if that's not what you want, Global Comics, if you want to support somebody, if the percentage that's being taken by somebody else is your worry, and you're like, I don't want to support that. Global Comics, you'll be supporting an excellent community of web comic hosting. These guys have consistently had my back. I've just loved interacting with them, and so that's a great place to do it, and you can still put the same amount of money in, and I'll actually get more of it through Global Comics than Patreon. um, but you won't have the same access to all of the stuff, right? Like, I try and post every stream that goes up, at least right after if I can. I slip sometimes. um, Whatever comment, like, if we actually get this rolling and have, page production, all of that will be going up on Patreon. But if you have problems with Patreon, or people have more interest in something like Substack, I can do it through Substack. Substack has the back end that Patreon does. It would work very similar. Or you could go directly to my PayPal, or the company PayPal anyway, and you can give $1 a month that way, because everybody has to deal with PayPal anyway. So if you're worried about that fucking percentage, I'm sorry. In that case, right? That's the cleanest and people are most familiar with it. Again, Substack, or I set this up a long time ago on our website. You can go through our website, and there's a tier that's just a straight up donation tier. You could do that. I've done the best I can. I could set up a Ko-fi too if people would rather work with Ko-fi. I The subscription model, though very hard to sell, is the only way this work will get done consistently. I am consistently convinced of such. Uh, Jack Irons is a fun comic, trying to spread the word as much as I can, finding social media algorithms. Ain't we all, brother? And thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I saw your comment about issue number 2. I'm glad you like that. I hope you enjoy issue 3 when you get to it. But that's the plan. That's the plan. We had a plan. We had another plan. I don't think it's on this one though, is it? It's not. We had this plan, and it's still a good plan. It could still work out. The plan could still work out, but it's looking less and less like Tahiti's a thing that's gonna. So, instead of going into panic mode or anything of that, I'm just preparing. This is spring. This is the time of renewal and new birth, and I'm seeing that life is doing that in a lot of different ways again. Honestly, all of last year felt like a long winter, a very, very long winter. And if we're finally coming out of that winter, I want to utilize that energy the best I can. And so instead of slamming against the same walls um, that have worked before, I would like to be able to adapt and pivot to something new. Something different, and something that I've known from the beginning is the fucking way forward for our type of work. Um, if we tried it any other way, man, we could pull it off a couple times as you saw, but like not at the rates our artists need now, right, to work with us. And I don't necessarily want to find cheaper artists. Like I don't want to have to pay artists less to make an amazing, unique comic. I have wonderful talents that's worked with us. I have the team, the band together. I shouldn't have to tear that apart and rebuild it simply because the work cannot be sustained at the level it needs to. No, you find a fucking way to sustain it at the level it needs. And so, the subscription model is going to be my pitch during this quote unquote breather I'm going to be taking. Again, it's not a breather. Um, After this campaign, um, in fact, even if it funds, I'm gonna try and pivot folks that way. Uh, so, like either way, that is still like the direction I want to take things. So the idea is that that's the hope. That's the direction I'm going to be pivoting. There's the bigger direction I'll try and pivot if this doesn't fund for sure. If it does fund, there's still a chance I'll try and pivot that way simply because I think it's another area of instability and unsustainability that our work doesn't need. It sucks. It's not something I'm looking forward to whatsoever, but it's it's likely necessary. Um, there's two ways that could go to, and I'm gonna have to talk to Mr. Dollar Coins and a couple other folks and actually have the other discussion first before I decide which of those two options I want to go, because one of them's kind of they're both stupid, but one of them maybe is everybody wins, and I prefer that. Um, but we'll see. Nonetheless, that's kind of it, folks. I've got a couple more minutes to finish my coffee. I gotta be out of here in about 20 minutes. Um, Actually gonna go hang out with Laguna and play a Dune board game or something for a couple hours. So I'll be gone. I get to see my friends maybe once a month. Last month we went and saw the Batman. That was a lot of fun. I really liked that film. I didn't get to talk about that. Laguna's a huge Batman fan. He noticed the references and stuff, but he didn't really like where it went. Yeah, mainly because he didn't like Pattinson. He didn't think he thought it was kind of too much of an emo weakling kind of Batman. But man, I loved it. Like I thought I was gonna dislike it because I wasn't a big fan of the Nolan films. Like they're fine, they're good if you want that kind of Batman story, right? It's very specific. I like I like being able to bring kids to a Batman movie. That's my thing. And like even this the Batman, like it pushed it, man. It sucks. Kids should be able to see that. But yeah. Luna told him something about a stove art. What is that? I don't know. Pattinson was an edge lord, but he was Batman most of the film instead of Bruce, which was nice. I don't know. The ending scene got me. The sacrifices got me. The relationship with Catwoman wasn't great, but there was good bits to it. The comic callbacks were great. The Tim Burton callbacks were really cool. I don't know. I liked it. I'd have to see it again. I think it was too long. I think they could have cut some fat, some more fat. But yeah, I liked it. I was impressed. The last two movies I've seen in theaters, I really enjoyed. Before that was Spider-Man: No Way Home, and man, that fucker blew me away too. The last act. The first two acts are it's a little slow, but the last act was amazing. The Batman, like it was kind of I don't know. I really liked it. I liked the feel of Gotham. Like oh man, I liked it. I liked it. Uh, his favorite part was when Batman glittered. He's always glittering, man. You didn't know that? It's just like a bat thing. They all go to Hot Topic, buy all the ladies' makeup. It's actually a problem. They had shipping supply issues for a long time, and all the bats got pissed, and all the Hot Topics got filled with guano. You don't remember that? No, but nonetheless, folks, that's the plan. We always got a plan over here. I always feel we're the underdogs who punch far above our weight class and have to deal with folks watch One Piece, like when Luffy goes into second gear or third gear, right? I think it's third gear, where he massively it punches above his weight. He makes a massive fist and smashes through some asshole or some giant beast, right? Um, and then he just poofs into a little Luffy. That's kind of how we do comics. Like that's the metaphor of how I see IronVerse Comics doing comics. We gather all our strength, we put everything into it, we punch as fucking hard as we can. Sometimes we get it done, sometimes we miss, and either way we deflate afterwards. Right? It's a lot of energy to go with, and I would rather not do that. I'd rather just do the soup no not do the Goku thing and just get consistently stronger over time because of training and the ability to be sustained, right? Like he hits those higher levels at points, but no matter what, Goku himself as Goku is getting stronger. Luffy as well, but in a different way. But that's that's the thing, right? I would love to avoid those deflation periods or to minimize the effect that they have on the brand and the IP and the awareness and the interaction by having something consistently produced. And if I was making an extra $500 a month myself, like fine, I would totally put that into comics. Get this done myself. It means I can get half a book done. In a year, a little over half a book done in a year myself. If I had that, I don't. I don't. Um, so that's the goal right now. I think that's where I'm pivoting. No matter how this goes, is I'm gonna redouble our efforts on the Patreon. So please check that out. I'm gonna redouble the efforts. Again, I don't care where the money is coming through. If you want the best interaction and interface and what I understand the best, Patreon. No question. It's the easiest to use and all the content's there. There's hundreds and hundreds of hours of live streams, all of our production stuff. I mean, it's a cool place. Um, if you want to support independent art and you're just there to support stuff, go through Global Comics, please. They're an excellent service. I really wish would continue to grow. And so far they are. And I wish them nothing but success, and their success has been mine for a good chunk of time. So I would love to continue to thank them. Um, if neither of those work, but you still want all the production notes and all of that fun stuff, I can start working harder through the Substack. I'm not a fan of Substack so much myself, but some people really are. Great. I'm happy to utilize that. Has a similar back end to Patreon. It's presented differently, less clearly, and less interactively. The UI ain't my favorite, but I can do it if people have that interest. If you just want a familiar payment provider that you deal with anyway, please, you can go through PayPal and donate us monthly. Or if you want to kind of go through our site and use that kind of energy, and you should just go to ironversecomics.com, go to merch and search donations, and you can find it right there. Um, so that's the bit. That's the bit. We'll see what'll happen. We'll see what'll happen. But that's the plan. That's what I wanted to talk about. There's no giving up over here. There never is. But my original plan of basically slamming my head against this wall until it breaks is dumb. It's unsustainable for myself. It will completely dry out interest in the IP over time with no. We need small wins. That's something that I've kind of presented to myself too. Morale is tough. Morale is so tough, and I was having a talk with Scott Kay, the creator writer of The Recluse and Wrath. If you folks are interested over at Wicked Publishing, go check out Wrath, a wonderful young adult story. But I need to. It just morale is important. And so, for myself, of course, but I'm a stubborn bastard. I will pick myself up and keep slamming against the wall, no matter what. There's no like, folks who have seen the troubles that have occurred with our work over the years know that. Um, we've taken some very heavy L's, um, like some world sinking L's, and I'm still here. But morale for an IP and a brand is really important. I think most mainstream IPs are terrible at keeping morale up. Um, People may call it hype, see, and that's a form of morale, but it's a fleeting form of morale. That's not what I'm after. I'm after a consistent support and appreciation of the magic of a project that only we can produce. It's different than hype, where it's kind of like, oh, this thing's gonna release, and then the hype fades, and either the project's really good or the project's really bad. No, I want that consistent level of appreciation, enjoyment, and engagement, and we had that for a good chunk of time. This campaign, not so much. Some diehards who were absolutely incredible, but like new fan art, none during this entire campaign. Um, those kinds of things I've noticed have kind of channel's grown. I hit 7,000 followers on Twitter. I mean, there were small victories, but not any that show a consistent drive towards morale. And most folks were saying they couldn't afford this issue. So I'm thinking if I break it down in a bite size and this is gonna sound dumb. I logically break down like why we need to go to a subscription model, and I earnestly and heartfelt, with an earnest, heartfelt desire to create comics and to do right by folks. If I'm able to get that message in front of enough of our previous supporters and our current supporters, there might be something there. There might be something there. Once Patreon tried but was too unknown, maybe one day you can try again. One has to try to see whether it works or not. Exactly. Doll coins, I saw that. Very cool. Let me know how that goes, and yeah, shoot it my way. Arno, you need a job. Yes, everybody tends to need some kind of job for multiple reasons. Um, for me, it's sanity and stability. It is one of my rocks, and it's kind of shaky right now too. So it is what it is. It is what it is. But yes, good stuff. Attainable goals, incremental progress. It can be the way to go. Build that momentum. That's the hope. Instead of Luffy, we got to be like All Might, laughing and smiling no matter what, yelling "I am here" to everyone in need of help. That's the. I've honestly always taken that approach. I'm just, you get defeated a few times, you get deflated. So, I being an All Might's tough. Like, he does deflate, right? He does deflate. It's just he tends to be better at like pulling himself away from the situation to deflate than I. I'm very much more like Luffy. Everything's got poof, and now I'm this guy again. So yeah, I could do better in that personally, but for IronVerse Comics overall, yeah, that'd be much better as well. I would love to be a rallying torch. I've always tried to be, but in a more central and engaging way. So we'll see. We'll see what's possible. The smallest victories are always equally the most cherishable, and that's the bit. I think if we can we've got 19 folks on Patreon right now doing $50 a month. I've got one person on Global Comics doing $10 a month. Those two fees basically cover our website's funding for every month, right? So that's already like, that became perpetually sustainable. Tiny bit of magic right there. Like, there's no way I could afford the monthly fee for Shopify. It just was not going to happen. But took the risk, and went from there. And so far, so good. Yep, very tough. He tends to overwork himself. He needs a job so he can support his friends and their projects. Well, as much as you, I mean, you're supporting me right now, brother. Thank you for stopping by. I would like to finish this coffee. We have 9 minutes. There's something fun I can do with you folks instead of just sitting. Oh, I found a really cool. I don't know. You folks aren't as interested in this as I am. But fuck it. I don't care. So if you've been to the channel, as you might be right now, I have a whole AI art section. I am just the idea of algorithms building artistic expression via words intrigues the hell out of me. So I did those forever. It takes hours to output an image, and the one I was using isn't that great. But I found not one I don't know how to use it. I don't know if it's just a personal bot. Um, okay, to be fair, I do know how to use it. You have to use it through Twitter, but you can't use it like I used that other tool to make AI art. But I really liked this bot, so I'm gonna share some of the cooler images, and then I'll head on out. Hopefully that'll allow me to finish my coffee. Okay. Oh, new animation if you didn't see as well. Let me do that since I'm right here. Yep, there you go. New animation from the wonderful, incredible, and ever timely production of Mrs. H, Miss Amy Fusco. Yeah, I really like this one. Anyone that has like this massive amount of movement, like the Jack's Rides, as I call it, the horse and motorcycle horizontal kind of Hanna-Barbera one we got. I really like that. I think the point of these is to attract eyes, and I think something like this does it really well. Um, so yeah, stoked with that one. And then we got, of course, this one in day before. This is the updated one with the wink, which I like. But let me see. Yeah, there we go. So it's this one, AI CurioBot. So you can tag it, as it says, tag at AI CurioBot, bot prompt, and then you put in your words, whatever you want it to be. In this case, it was heaven is a place on earth, so it went with clouds and bright colors. I love seeing what the zeros and ones output when they're dealing with human imagination. It's one of the chaos bits that I attribute to magic. It's why I like a few other forms of magic. Uh, One I engaged with at the very beginning of this campaign, which, to be fair, I didn't use it for success. I used it for lessons, and it did not disappoint. But things like that. I don't remember retweeting this one, but I love the colors. Of course, Eric Canetti's stuff is great. Um, but I really liked what this like the realism this bot was able to pull through. What was this? Fallen Angels motorcycle scene. It's a lot clearer. Of course, some Illustrator Monk stuff. El Crudo is live. If you folks have been following El Crudo, I love that cat. I've worked with him multiple times. I consulted on issue four's campaign page, and he's one of the other folks I've written something for. And in fact, in this campaign, you can snag a 12-page ash can that I actually have a short in. If you folks are interested, it's a lot of fun. It was working in comedy for once, which nice. It's nice for me. Was that all? That's all of them from this morning. But I know there was. Yeah, it seems better at deciphering the words, and I think it has a larger image database to pull information from. This AI, so you get clearer images. Fluffy orange cat eating a huge burger. There you go. There you go. This is the end of Evangelion. Anybody who's seen Evangelion, does that look like the end of it? Like symbolically or metaphysically? I'm very curious. Fly saucer over Stonehenge. Like, man. I don't know. Photorealistic Batman. See, this is the Batman we deserve, not the one we need. Alright. And then, of course, that's not a moose, that is a man. And that's how I found this. I was like, wow, that is a very clear moose. I wonder how this AI works. And so that's how I dove in. But, okay, that's the fun I have to share with you. I love AI art. I think it's... If we're going to understand how to work with artificial intelligence, this is one of the best ways we're gonna. Um, because it's another level. Like some people are really good at the numerics and the coding bits and figuring it out, right? Um, this I get. because there are emotional overtones. There's a basically anytime you're dealing with a algorithm, a randomized algorithm that is assembling a piece of art, whether it's writing or a piece of art, it's a little bit of a glimpse into how this thing works, that someone who's not like directly able to read the matrix, the code moving itself, it's one of the few ways we can. And I think it's really cool, and I think the cooperation between man and machine in this case is actually kind of important. Um, but yeah, um, check that out. If you're curious, you can check out the AI art pieces on the channel. You can see the thing forming them is the difference. Like I did them as animations, right? Let's I'll show you. And then yeah, I gotta go. I'm gonna be a little late, but that's okay. Just again, it's just a board game. Right here. This is the last piece I did, which was kind of interesting. But yeah, you can look through it. I didn't put the prompts on it, just so people could guess it. But now that I'm seeing like you could put the prompts, and when I'm looking at what the AR piece is, and I can see the prompt, it's really easy for your brain to put together what it was thinking. So I think in the future I might start putting the prompts down. But yeah, this is kind of what I'm talking about. Howdy, Mr. Burnish. At least I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Welcome, welcome. AI art is fascinating to you too. You discovered a writing AI that has astounding understanding of context. It's great writing, buddy. Yes, that's another one I've thought about trying to do a stream with AI Dungeon, and like there's a particular streamer I really appreciate who is super interactive with his chat because of how he has things programmed. And it literally allows chat to interact and play games as well. Everything from like Mario Party to, again, AI Dungeon. Things like that. So I would love to do something similar, but we need a larger amount of folks to be coming in. We are getting that. Like it says, there's 6 people here now. Thank you so much. Check out the channel, sub, watch some videos, have fun. Um, if I'm back early enough tonight, I will try and do that Elden Ring stream I wanted to do yesterday and the day before. But there's a good chance it won't happen. I've got to get up early and work for the next 4 days, and that work is getting harder. But at the same time, it's rewarding, and I'm making a little extra cash that I need. So it is what it is. Uh, but yeah, check it out. Check out some of these reviews, all of that good stuff. We are growing subscribers, which is nice. One day at a time, right? Um, so okay, I gotta go, folks. I wish I didn't for multiple reasons. I wanted to sleep more today. I gotta leave the dog at the house by herself for a few hours, all that. But at the same time, I get to go see my oldest friends. Laguna I've known since diapers, and my other buddy I've known since middle school, and we've been tight since. So it's good that those relationships have continued to exist. It means a lot. And so I'm gonna go engage with that. So didn't finish my coffee. I'm gonna do that. And then I'm out of here, folks. So thank you so much for joining. If you missed anything I was talking about, please catch the replay. Do all the stuff if you would. I don't, it'd be nice not to have to ask. but obviously even the largest YouTubers ask. That call to action can make the difference between somebody doing something and not doing something. I get it. So, like, subscribe, share if you would, particularly this stream. If you think any of your platforms actually engage with our work quite a bit, I think this stream would be an important one to share. And it's going to be shorter. It should only be about an hour, right? So, it'll mean a lot. If you watch the stream and you need any of the links to the stuff we do, like I was talking about, IronVerseComics.com up at the top here. That goes straight to our Patreon. It's a great way to do it. You can go to our Substack here if you want to go there to do the subs. If you feel like giving that $1 a month. You can go right here. You can just read this, but you can also go. Where would it be? I think here you can click here, then it goes over here, and then you can go to support. Boop, right there, support, and then blah, blah, blah. You can do that. Repeat monthly would be great, but even if you just want to give us a dollar, I appreciate it. Um, that's a place you can go. If you want to find it on our site, you can go up here to merch, donate to IronVerse Comics. And you don't have to donate. It starts at $5, but you can donate 50 cents, I think, at the lowest, and that would be great. Um, there are many channels to make this thing work, but the channel that we've been doing, like, this is a circus, and I'm not a ringleader. You know, I'm not a oh god, what, I don't even know the term. Ring master, is that it? Ring head circus guy. I'm not I'm not charismatic. I am earnest. I am honest. I'm straightforward. I try and communicate the things that are important to me, and those things aren't always the most comfortable for people to talk about, or engage with, and that's why I do it through comics. But when I have to do it directly, like some people, it's great, and I'm very blessed to meet with them, talk with them about these things. But most people, especially if they're out there for comics, they would love reading it and engage with the story, but like dealing with an actual person talking about those things is a little different. So you know, share this as well, please. We could pull this off and it doesn't change the plans much. It just changes one big pivot that's kind of needed to happen for a while, and just changes the dynamics of that pivot. But it allows us to produce another comic for sure. Whereas, the subscription model, um, excellent, really would mean a lot, and how we can continue forward in any sort of consistency. But yeah. I'll just leave it there, folks. I really appreciate you. We got up to 7 people in here today. That's incredible for us. Um, since I've been streaming, I put on hundreds and hundreds of hours on this channel alone. Um, I'm used to 0 to 1 people. so 7 times that really means a lot to me. And I'm really grateful for you folks sharing your time, your love, and all of that with our work and with me. Thank you. So, I do have to go. I'm already late from when I wanted to leave. So, all I can say is thank you again. Check out those channels. Check out all those links. Again, ironversecomics.com, which the bot has been dropping into chat. Thank you, our Famine Inc. Requisition Stream bot, for doing your due diligence in reporting the hyperlinks for which people can go and support us from. Uh, and man, just have a wonderful whenever it is for you. Take care, and I'll catch you later.